What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you another requested album review, because, as you probably know, I am doing nothing but requests for quite some time. And this request comes from SirAllAboutMusic, aka Srip. That's a mouthful of a username, man. That's a mouthful of a username. And I've been talking to him through messages. Really nice guy. Really, got a love for music. And he asked me to review Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. Never heard of this album before, didn't even know it existed, didn't know what to expect. I didn't read anything before I went and listened to it. So I went out. It took me a while to get it. It took me a while to find it, but I did find it, and I got it, and stuck it in, and could only get through about the first 7 minutes, and then I was sick. I was done. Yeah. But what you have with this album is really, in the essence of the sound, you have two sides. You have a disco side and a prog rock side. And those are, when you just pull the album down to its essence, that's what you got. This album was made in the late 70s, and in that sense, it's a very commercially appealing album. Very commercially appealing. And you know what? I didn't like it. I can't say that I liked it at all. The disco stuff, I hate disco. Thought, automatically blew that stuff off. I got nothing to say about that. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's really terrible. I mean, there's not a lot I can say on the disco side. The kind of prog rock side of this album was interesting. It was pretty spacey, very like eerie kind of prog rock stuff going on here. And then of course you had narrations going throughout the entire album. I just didn't like it at all. And I had to listen to it in like 10-minute increments, and then I had to go and take a break. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. There's really not a lot of I can't think of any good things I have to say about this album. The whole concept, I'll give the album the concept, and in general there was a really lush sound, and that played well into the style of the music. I can give it that. And some of the prog rock things were pretty cool. But overall, I mean, this album is something like 100 minutes long. I mean, there were probably 10 minutes of good stuff in this album, in the entire thing. That was about it. It was just so ridiculously commercial, and so ridiculously pretty and clean and sanitary, that I couldn't get into it at all. I couldn't find any place where I could just sit and listen to it. There was nothing like that in it at all for me. So, originality, there's not a lot. I mean, like I said, disco, prog rock, doesn't really do anything interesting with either of those. Especially the prog rock stuff. I mean, I'm a huge Yes fan, so the prog rock has to be pretty impressive to impress me. And this just wasn't. So yeah. That's originality. Didn't like the album at all. The flow, since I didn't like the album, I didn't like the flow. I didn't like the style of the music. I didn't like how it fit together. I guess it would have fit pretty together pretty well if I had enjoyed the album more. So if you're into the kind of disco prog rock thing that you might find on this album, go check it out. You might like the flow a little more than I did. And the production was just clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle. You could have taken a shit on this thing and it would still be clean to eat off of. I mean, it was so clean. It was anti-dirty. And it was so anti-dirty that if any dirtiness would have come onto it, it would have automatically been just explode, like when antimatter and matter come together, and just they cancel each other out. Except there's more cleanliness than possible dirt that you could ever put on here. It was just, I mean, I'm just trying to get across how ridiculously clean the production was. Like, this was even more clean than any Smashing Pumpkins album that I've listened to. I mean, this was like sterilized. So yeah. Yeah, I really don't have a lot to say about it. I didn't like it at all. I could give it a 2. A 2, and just because the whole concept of the album was cool. The narration was pretty cool. Some of the prog rock things were pretty cool. So I can give it a 2. Not a 1. 2. Definitely 2. So, SirAllAboutMusic album review. Leave a comment down there. Tell me what you think. I'll see you guys next time.